It's been quite a while since I posted a vintage video. Doesn't mean I haven't been collecting. Still out there looking for some cool and rare cards of some of the great players of all time. This is the best one I've picked up recently. This is in 1932, Godfrey Phillips. This were cut from a package originally. And fun fact, this one is rated R10, which is the rarest in Jody Bridges' Bradman book. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely a wonderful resource that I go to quite a bit. But this is R10, which is the rarest of all the Bradman issues. There's probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 cards in there that are R10, and that includes, the McNivens, the Hoadleys, the really famous ones, some Moros. But this is one I didn't have, so I was happy to pick this up. Fun fact, too, that this is actually the copy of the card that was used in the Jody book. If you look at the photo, it's this one. So I feel like I'm holding a little piece of history here. I mentioned the Hoadleys. This is not the Hoadleys. These are later year Hoadleys, and they're not in perfect condition, obviously, but was still happy to pick up 2 copies of a card that I didn't have even one of. So this is considered an R7. Still a pretty scarce card, but definitely not nearly as rare as the 1929 Hoadleys, which still hoping one day I'm dreaming of getting in my collection. So there's my Bradmans. Another really rare set, MacRobertson. So anything MacRobertson is going to be a rare one, and this is a cool set. I was actually able to pick up most of these subjects here, most in pretty nice condition considering the age. A lot of these will have a lot of cracking on the surface and a lot of corner issues and creases, but you can see this whole lot I picked up. These are quite nice. I would say these are in that R9 type of rarity, maybe R10, but probably more like an R9. So I was happy to get a bunch of these, and we're coming up on some of the, to me, the more interesting subjects here. Maurice Tate, one of the great all-rounders of his age. Some of the great players of Indian descent, including Ranji's nephew, who was a great batsman in his own right. And then this is really cool. I thought this would be a neat thing to show. There are several different cards that have this black background, and I think all these are really sharp, but this is the MacRobertson, which I did not have. But interestingly enough, I also picked up a Giant Brand Licorice. So most of the time, if you see these black background cards, there'll be a Giant Brand Licorice. Here's a different Hammond, different Giant Brand Licorice. I want to say this one is 1928, and then this one is a couple years later. And then here's yet another Hammond. This is a Hoadleys. And you can see it's the same picture, but a different size. And here's another one. So it's kind of cool. I love these black background, and they are very condition sensitive. So like I was saying, this is probably a more typical condition that I typically find. So getting the rarest of them in these really nice condition was definitely something I was happy to pick up. Another one of the great batsmen of all time, and one of the players I love to collect, is Sutcliffe. Here is a Giant Brand Licorice, and here is the MacRobertson. So again, saw this lot and knew that if I didn't grab this, a lot of these cards I might not grab for quite a long time, if maybe forever. And one more MacRobertson. So this is a set, by the way, you could probably notice these were all English batsmen or English cricketers. This is a broader set that had a bunch of different sportsmen in it. And there is a Bradman in this MacRobertson series. And that Bradman is an R9 in Jody's book. So here is the second great Australian batsman of that era. Not quite as great as Bradman, but love collecting McCabe stuff as well. So picked up a bunch of other cards. Here's a nice Wally Hammond, bunch of Sutcliffe. This one's trimmed. Here you have a different Hoadley series. You can see the size difference between these two series. Yeah, I really enjoy Sutcliffe. I'm probably going to do a video just on my Sutcliffe collection, which includes cards, obviously, but also photographs and autographs and some photos from his personal collection. Here we got Hobbs from Giant Brand Licorice, and here is a Hobbs as well. So you can see same image of Hobbs, but different series of the Giant Brand Licorice. Got the Minties and a couple more Hobbs that were in my pickups here. Finish off this section with a McCabe, Giant Brand Licorice, and a couple of Larwoods. This is one of the earlier Larwood cards from 28, and another Giant Brand Licorice. And then picked up this nice little lot. Clem Hill, one of the great batsmen at the turn of the last century. Jack Gregory, also one of the greats. He was an unbelievable all-rounder and great bowler. Jardine, Maurice Tate again. Here you've got another Clem Hill, another one of the greats of the era, Trumbull, Warwick Armstrong, Tom Hayward. And finish off with a couple early Ken Barrington cards, Cowdrey, and figure we're talking a lot about the Giant Brand Licorice. This might be their most colorful set, and a really cool one at that. Picked up a nice few cards from that set that I didn't have. And yeah, that's it for this time around. So hopefully you enjoyed that. It really is just incredible the amount of different subjects that you'll see in these different sets, and the different sets themselves. They're just very, very interesting. Love to collect them.